Hello, everyone. My name is Ivan. I'm from Statepol, and you are on an interview with Fetch.ai. From Fetch.ai is Kamal. Kamal is CPO of Fetch.ai. Hello, Kamal. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What is Fetch.ai? Could you please explain in a few sentences what is it?
Yeah, sure. So our vision at Fetch AI is to sort of help humans amplify time available for creativity and allowing them to pursue their talents with what we try to call smart autonomous services. Yeah, we're looking to achieve this by sort of developing the infrastructure and the tech building blocks that will power the smart autonomous services. And we achieve this by leveraging three core technical pillars, which are agents, AI, and Web3.
And about technology,
Okay.
what about your marketing and how do you position yourself? Like, for example, do you know about Mediblock? Mediblock is actually blockchain for your medical data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I go, I don't know, for example, to their Telegram chat or to their website, I would find information about like their new hospitals and why is it a very cool idea to have everything encrypted in crypto, and so on and so on. While when I go to Fetch.ai website, I actually have like those two buttons, like where like get fit, those your token. Okay, and when I know it's about like AI, and I want to learn about it, and I go to like a
Yeah.
page which is the most similar to about you, like about us, something. It actually like whoa, there is like those Fed token, and it's really useful. It's really cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where is the AI? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so why is it your project doing that?
No. So you touch on an interesting point. I mean, we have a ongoing project to update the website and to update it with the content which will be more useful for developers who will come and use the technology. And this is something where we have done a bad job from a marketing perspective to sort of talk very Web3 centric and very token centric sort of language. And I think this is something that is going to change in the coming days, where we'll sort of make our vision and mission very clear, where we want to kind of leverage agents, AI, and Web3 in tandem to create this the smart autonomous services effectively that
Okay.
will sort of power the new business models. Yeah.
When do you plan to do this?
This should happen in the next few weeks, but
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, stay tuned to see updates happening in the next few. But definitely, this is
Okay.
something in the works at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. So go into the market and how do you position yourself right now? And from those all this like trend on ChatGPT, Bard, like Bean, and so on, your token actually prognosed, no financial device, prognosed to like raise and be very productive in an investment point of view. How do you actually feel that, and what do you think in your company about these like trends affecting your company?
Yeah. So I think yeah, sometimes the trends are a bit of a distraction from the original purpose, right? I mean, we have been around in the Web3 space for long enough, where we've been through bull bear markets multiple times, and every time some sort of a trend happens, now somehow AI has come into the mix and suddenly become a new trend. We sort of get a deja vu of like, okay, well, we go either in one direction or the other direction. So honestly speaking, I think we realize that I'll talk specifically with ChatGPT, right? So I think what they did really well is they actually gave a very simple interface for people to try the tech, and we are taking that as an inspiration. Forget the trend, forget the market reaction to it. We are taking that as an inspiration to see how can we give simple interfaces for people to work with agents, and
Mm-hmm.
specifically in that direction, what we are going to do coming soon is you will be able to play with agents, beginning with, we have said this in the past, that we sort of see wallet, especially for Web3 audience. Wallet is kind of this similar to what browser is for Web2. Yeah, so we see wallet as a gateway for consuming everything that Web3 has to offer. So starting with Fetch Wallet, you will start being able to see how agents interact either with a Web2 technology or a Web3 technology live inside the wallet as a starting point. And then we plan to, in the coming days, showcase some other sort of easy playground kind of tools for people to play with agents, and
Mm-hmm.
start with simple programs to begin with, but eventually they can make it more complicated. But we want to make the tech easily accessible to everyone, and this is some inspiration that we drew from ChatGPT, where it was one of the most successful product launches because of the fact that it went to 1 million users in
Yeah.
1 week, and we want to kind of use that inspiration rather than look at the trend and see how that
Mm-hmm.
impacts the price. Yeah.
Do you actually develop something for end users by yourself? Like which agents? Uh,
Yeah, so this is something that is a new shift in Fetch AI, where, as I mentioned earlier, up until now we were quite heavily focused on research, and we were more sort of tech driven product, and now moving forward we are going to be more uh, sort of product and application uh, uh, driven company. So this is starting with making these technical products available in the Fetch wallet to begin with, so that you can play with it and understand the power of it, and then eventually taking this into our own sort of these smart autonomous services and applications around this, that will again show the power of agents and AI with
mm-hmm.
Web3 sort of as an underlying tech.
What can we try right now? Like in this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually, website is the wrong barometer. If you go to GitHub and look at our repositories, and as I mentioned, we already have Cosm Pi as a library, which is immensely successful. There are 25,000 downloads per month. We have recently launched micro agents that will allow you to, if you're a dev, you will understand, using the documentation, you will understand. Obviously, website is not the right entry point for you. If you go to GitHub and use the documentation, you should be able to understand how to create these agents and create applications using these agents. So yeah, I would strongly recommend using GitHub rather than the website to experience the products.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but Vishnu, can you name like what should we try right now? What is working right now? Which agents?
Yeah, so we have autonomous economic agents, which is the AEAs, which have been published and live for quite some time,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also have micro agents, which are similarly lightweight as microservices,
Mm-hmm.
and will get you started very quickly with agents. So
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of the difference between the two. With AEAs, it's a um, bit more like a monolith that will require some sort of understanding conceptually on how the various parts are broken down. So as I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, there is a protocol, connection, and skill, and you can use those building blocks to create a AEA. But if you want something quick and easy, then you look at microagents effectively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I
And
see.
there are already examples. There are already examples on GitHub that you can find today to start working on creating microagents.
Okay, when do you plan to see a mass adoption of your product?
Well, this is the year for adoption, so this is definitely the focus this year. I don't want to, I wish I had the crystal ball to figure out when the mass adoption happens. Honestly speaking, we have all been talking about Web3 mass adoption, and there is still long ways to go in that sense. So we are definitely going to work actively this year to reach that mass adoption stage. And the fact that we are starting to work on our own consumer app, and the fact that we are now partnering even more closely with Bosch to work on the industry side of things, where things move a bit slowly, we expect that these multiple strands will somehow converge at some point in this year to see some meaningful adoption.
You told us about those agents, and they are open to everyone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we already have published, we have two agent technologies. We have the autonomous economic agents, which are also called AAs. And then more recently, we launched micro agents, which we kind of see sort of this child between AAs and microservices, because we felt that if we give this micro agents, we enable people who are already used to developing in microservices in Web2 to come on board and use agent technology. And that was kind of the main motivation behind it, to kind of reduce this learning curve, such that the existing Web2 developers can actually use agent technology. And now today we have AEAs, which are autonomous economic agents, which is a big framework, and we have micro agents. Yeah, so
Okay,
similar to microservices. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You can think of microservices as logic, which is very domain specific. So instead of creating, it's more of a software architecture concept, right? Where up until microservices became popular, people used to develop a lot of monolithic applications, right? So this would mean that um, within companies, the domains were quite interlinked, and that meant that these were big and long development cycles, because obviously engineers in one domain did not really understand the other domain, and engineers in other domain had to make sure the interfaces were tightly coupled and work together. So that's what led to creation of microservices, where it allowed, let's say, engineers from different domains work independently, where they don't have a tight coupling with skills and features of the product in a different domain, and they can use this loosely coupled architecture, where you kind of have this common message layer that is being used by two different domains to talk to each other, but they can independently drive forward the feature set within their individual domains. So that was kind of microservices, and we kind of take that similar concept and put this in agents. Where agent is very domain specific. You can create an agent for a specific domain and skill, and you can have another agent for a specific domain and skill, and the two agents can communicate with each other to achieve a higher order function that is required. And the beauty of micro agents is that, unlike microservices, which are typically inside one organization, micro agents can go across organizations and can use Web3 infrastructure to talk to each other.
Anybody right now can use your your project?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, I think you can look at agents as a part of this AI domain, right? And from Fetch's perspective, agents are kind of the fundamental building block to create this smart autonomous service. And As I mentioned, we have two agent families. We have the AEAs, which today the AEAs can already interface with OpenAI's Gym library. So you can already have an AEA do reinforcement learning using the interface with the OpenAI's Gym library.
Mm-hmm.
We also will enable or give examples of micro agents doing the same thing. And as I mentioned, micro agents are fairly new, so we will give this example shortly on our GitHub repository. Alongside this, we have a full sort of AI platform. So we have something called a collaborative learning technology, or CoLearn,
Mm-hmm.
where we allow sort of collaborative machine learning to happen. So think of it as, let's say, if you own a data set and you want to run machine learning experiments on this data set, you can start an experiment in Axum platform where you can invite machine learning machine learners to come in and create models and improve models collaboratively. And
Mm-hmm.
you can do this in a privacy preserving way. So you don't have to obviously leak your data. Your data is not leaving your premises, but you are allowing um, sort of this collaborative aspect happening at the machine learning model. And the plan is to kind of then take this and create sort of these machine learning marketplaces. And on top of that, we will sort of enable inference marketplaces. So effectively, inference would be an inference derived from whatever the machine learning model is. And the thought process is that the agents, which we want to kind of operate in as this first level citizens in the smart autonomous services web, we expect the agents to use the inferences coming from the machine learning models from this collaborative learning tech and take an action on behalf of their human actors. So that's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
overall vision of how the Fetch technology will piece together these various building blocks that will bring AI to Web3.
Let's say I want to create my own data science project. How can I
Yeah,
use Fetch.ai for those purposes?
yeah. So specifically today, what's already in the open space is we have a Python library called CosmPy. This CosmPy library will allow you to connect with any Cosmos chain out there. And at the same time, because it's in Python, our language choice was Python is kind of the first choice for all the technologies at Fetch AI. You can connect with other AI Python libraries out there, and then you can create a DApp or application, even a Web2 application using this library.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, you can also use the agent framework. So AEAs are predominantly the main uh, implementation of the AEA framework is in Python. And
Mm-hmm.
similarly, the main implementation of microagents is in Python. So again, the idea was to kind of allow the agents to directly access the rich uh, Python library in the open source arena for AI specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and create these AI applications using both the agent technology and CosmPy. Yeah.
Okay. I should say that our devs actually were likes very much this library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, CosmPy is very popular because you can use CosmPy to create full stack Python applications on Cosmos ecosystem in Cosmos networks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now with the co-learn machine learning that we are working towards, this is not public yet, but we
Mm-hmm.
plan to make it go public in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
You would be able to then, as I mentioned, the agents will be able to leverage inferences from this inference marketplace that will sit in the Colon platform.
Mm-hmm. But from AI, you're actually a crypto project. So can you tell us,
Yes.
please, what role does the coin mean to the ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we are a crypto project, as you rightly put it. we launched our chain in 2021. We have a native token called the Fed token. The Fed token is used for paying for the gas that is required for the transactions on the network. Specifically for the agent side of things, we are in the process of actually creating a way for agents to search and discover each other. And in order for agents to search and discover, the agents will register themselves on the Fetch network using the Fed token. So they will stake Fed token, and that will make them discoverable by other agents in the network. So those are the two primary uses of the Fed token. So effectively, you have the Fed token powering the transactions, as well as Fed token powering search and discovery for the agents on the Fetch network.
So the first one is completely clear. Like to send someone Fetch, you have to have some Fetch, and you have to have it for some fees. But the second one, like okay, there is this like sovereign identity, and does it need to stake some coins to be actually visible on the Fetch network?
Yeah, so think of it as the domain name service, right? So the web today operates in this domain name service style. We kind of think of this search and discovery similar to the domain name service, where if an agent wants to be discovered by other agents, they have to register themselves in a smart contract. This is a time-bound registration. So, let's say the agent registers for 1 week, and the agent will be discoverable for this 1 week by other agents who will also register on the same smart contract. And then that would allow the two agents to kind of discover each other and talk to each other. And then the talking to each other can happen offline or can use the Fetch network.
Okay, yeah, and how much does it cost, like, to be visible for 1 week, for example?
We are still figuring out the subscription plan, if you will, on that. That it'll be some sort of a subscription if you think about the current software as a service model. We are still trying to figure out whether this is what amount of Fed token will you need to stake to be discoverable for a week. But I think the details will be flushed out in the coming weeks.
So right now you can't actually use those entities to make a working project, because it will not be visible for others, and other can see you.
Yeah, just to be clear, so you can today use the agent code, and if you know how to discover some other agent, you can already talk to them offline or use the network and transact on the network, right? When we launched this search and discovery, which is a smart contract on Fetch, that's when we kind of open this marketplace scenario where let's assume that your agent is offering a certain service, and there are consumer agents that are looking for that service. They can use this smart contract to discover each other, and this is where the Fed token will be required.
Okay, but will it be this situation when one project finds another project, and they actually immediately find contact, like email or Telegram or Discord or something, and they actually immediately connect, and they don't need to actually stake some Fetch, and
yeah. So if you think about a regular marketplace scenario, right? Obviously, the service provider is not just going to be happy with one customer, right? The service provider will need multiple customers, and this is where they will need to be discoverable by other new customers, unless they plan to always interact with the same customer. Then obviously they don't need to register, because once they discover the other agent's identity and address, they can communicate with each other. But a typical marketplace scenario, a service provider will need multiple customers, right? And this is where the discovery of agents is important.
What plans do you have?
So if you think of the Fetch history so far, I mean, I think we have been around for a little more than 4 years now. Up until late or middle of last year, we were very research centric and research focused. And again, we were researching on agent technologies, network speed, machine learning, AI. And since then, we are kind of moving towards practical implementation of these technologies. And we are going to start working on industrial or consumer applications that leverages agents as the core fundamental building block, if you will, along with AI, which is what makes it smart, along with AI that is coming from the collaborative learning market tech and platform. And agents will use the network to, as I was describing, search and discover, as well as record their interactions with other agents. So they can use the network for, recording the actions they are taking, as well as, if they want to settle financially or economically with other agents, they can use the network. Yeah. So effectively, moving in this year, we are going to launch a lot of applications that will be powered by agents, and they will be both consumer-facing applications and industrial applications. And obviously, you've heard the news with Bosch that we worked with Bosch to form the new foundation. So that's where we will look at industrial applications, hopefully coming onto the Fetch network and using these technologies.
Can you tell us a bit about this partnership with Bosch? Because it's not clear for me what can they use AI for?
Yeah. So Bosch we consider as a North Star when it comes to big enterprises that are exploring innovative tech, right? They have been one of the leading in this big enterprise that has looked into AI and Web3, and they have been researching the various Fetch technologies and products for the last 4 years now. Yeah, and they see the potential of using this kind of agent and AI technology along in this sort of collaborative setup with Web3 sort of enabling this collaboration in use cases around mobility. So these are use cases around, vehicle to vehicle communication or vehicle to infrastructure communication, where you can imagine that these agents are sitting inside the vehicle, talking to another agent which is sitting inside another vehicle, or an agent sitting inside a vehicle and communicating with an infrastructure of sorts, which could be something like an EV charger, for example. And then the agents negotiate on, let's say, the car looking for an EV charger and negotiates and books an EV charger for the car. If you think about the Web3, where does Web3 fit in? Web3 will be both these sort of machines having wallets in there to sort of enable this economic transaction to happen on some sort of a blockchain. And this is where sort of Bosch looked at all the technologies that Fetch brought to the table, and felt that they could come in partnership and collaboration with Fetch to influence the direction of these three technologies, such that they can unlock some new business cases and use cases around this sort of new peer-to-peer scenario.
But this partnership with Bosch, it's actually isn't something new. You have been partners for 2 years at least, as far as I understood with your YouTube channel. Yeah. How did it come? What is the reason?
Yeah. So I think Bosch was quite interested in when we published our white paper a while back, and I think they were quite interested in this agent technologies, specifically, as I mentioned. If you think about Industry 4.0, the Industry 4.0 scenarios are, every machine will have some piece of software that is, talking over the air with either a different machine on the other side or a big system on the other side. And they see agent as a critical piece to sort of enable this Industry 4.0 kind of scenario. And I think the relationship has kind of been more of Bosch doing a lot of due diligence in the last couple of years to understand the maturity of the tech that we already have in place, and then they felt after the due diligence they felt comfortable that okay, we are at a point where the tech has the promise and has the maturity such that they want to be at the table influencing the direction we take in the tech. And the way we think about it is that the foundation is open. So obviously we are encouraging other industry partners, even innovative tech startups, to join this foundation. And as a participant on the foundation, then you're able to influence the direction the foundation takes in terms of how to further develop the agent tech, how to further develop the network, how to further develop this collaborative learning platform on the AI side.
Fetch.ai Foundation, like what is it for? And
yeah, so effectively you can think of the foundation as a way to create this collaborative as well as co-optation space. And co-optation is kind of this concatenated word of collaboration and competition, right? In a way such that the technology innovation can be brought together from these participants in the foundation without the fear of sort of giving away intellectual property such that the other maybe their competitors take advantage of, or gets abused by somebody else, right? So the foundation gives this proper forum for participants that believe in a certain direction to come and influence that direction and pool the intellectual property in a way that can benefit the overall ecosystem of the foundation. So benefits all the participants within the foundation. And Bosch joining the foundation gives that validation for other participants to say, okay, if Bosch as a company, as a big company that has existed for a long, long time, has been seen as an engineering giant, creating all various cool products and innovative products in the past, gives the validation for other players to kind of join this foundation. And that's going to be our focus in trying to grow this foundation such that other sort of industry partners as well as technology innovative startups join the foundation to take the journey with us.
Okay, so you are saying that firstly there was no Bosch. You just found started this foundation only with Fetch.ai employees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bosch was exploring all the technology that we already had in place, and this is what the initial collaboration was. That they were excited with the agent technology, and they were looking at and researching, how they can leverage in new Industry 4.0 style business models. And now with this next chapter in this collaboration, they are further, taking the seat at the table to take the, influence the direction in which the technology is taken, right? And from Fetch.ai's perspective, with Bosch being there, that gives us a validation that the tech is mature, that invites other industry partners to come to the table and join us in this journey.
Okay. For example, who can you give us maybe you're waiting for someone, for some organization? Maybe you have someone in mind.
I mean, at the moment we are quite open and not very we are industry agnostic, right? So we are quite open to other players from any industry to basically join this foundation. We are still in the early stages of the foundation. So we have literally announced this foundation 2 weeks ago. And the plan would be to actively approach some of the organizations that, let's say, Bosch wanted to partner with, Fetch.ai wanted to partner with, as well as maybe some of the cross-industry organizations that we have been talking to in the past. So these could be universities. This could be I'm sure you've read about the Festo project. We had supply chain research done with Festo. So Festo could be possibly also encouraged to join the foundation as a participant and have a seat at the table to influence the direction of the tech. Yeah.
You said something about like cooperation with your competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, to like work together and actually develop the tech, all this. Can you name us your competitors right now?
It's a hard one because obviously we do a lot of different things. I mean, typically, given the name Fetch.ai, we get bucketed into AI projects, and there are other AI projects out there like Singularity Network, and honestly speaking, I think the overlap is only in certain areas with these kind of projects. We also sometimes get compared with Ocean Protocol. So I think the overlap with Ocean Protocol, for example, is with data marketplaces. We work alongside data marketplaces because we actually are interested in creating machine learning model marketplaces. And on top of that, we want to create inference marketplaces that can be leveraged by our agents to perform a task. And that's why I like to say, Singularity Network has their own data machine learning model marketplace. So there are some overlaps, but we sort of, we believe in sort of stitching the three things together, which is agents, AI, and Web3. So in that sense, I don't think we have come across a competitor that actually does all three in that sense.
I would actually say that your competitor is Cosmos Network. Because like it is a network of sovereign blockchains, and those blockchains might be built about like AI or anything, and they can communicate between each other using IBC protocol. Yeah, so and maybe they can use some oracles to get some Web2 data. And can you please explain why developers should use your platform instead of building their own blockchain on Cosmos?
Well, so as I mentioned earlier, I think our core offering is agents, and agents are this autonomous technical building block that will allow you to not just use a network but also do off-chain transactions. And this is where we are different from a Cosmos. Yeah, we are one of the self-sovereign hubs in the overall Cosmos ecosystem. So you can compare from a network perspective to other hubs within the Cosmos ecosystem and the overall Cosmos ecosystem. But if you then look at agents, which are not just a technology piece to interact using the network, but also off-chain, this is something which is unique. That is for Fetch. And this is why I kind of don't think of Cosmos as a competitor, but as something which is complementary. Obviously, these agents can then be used, as you already pointed out earlier in the conversation, that these agents can use a different network altogether to maybe even search and discover, or use the other network to record information on the blockchain. So our agent technology is the differentiator there, and it's different compared to, let's say, what other Cosmos Hub networks bring to the table.
Thank you, everyone, for being with us, for listening to us. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to not miss any new interview that are coming. And thank you, Kamal, for participating.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.